Iko Nini. So kuna story fulani nilibonga juu yake jana, nikibonga juu ya the three trending ladies. So out of those three trending ladies kulikuwa na the first lady, alafu kulikuwa na story za Aziad, alafu apart from that kulikuwa na hii story ya Mumbi Seraki. So story ya Mumbi Seraki kuna vile imeanza kucause a controversy online, and the controversy is, was this an abduction gone wrong, ama it's just a situation whereby like an activist got into an accident, and then people assumed that it's an abduction, and then she ran with that because kile imekuwa ikihappen ni ever since watu wanze kuprotest, kumekuwa na this thing of us trying to just push and portray Kenya as this place where abductions ina happen kila siku. I don't know if I should put it that way, but majuzi tulikuwa na msanii anaitwa Bob Njagi, and Bob Njagi unakumbuka kuna vile kulikuwa na story yake vile alikuwa abducted, and one of the things I remember he told us was like, even when they are beating you up, they normally beat you up and make sure that there is plausible deniability, where wanakupiga but wana make sure that injuries hazionekani vile zinafaa kuonekana. But sasa wacha to go back to history ya Mumbi Seraki. So tukikam to story ya Mumbi Seraki, lazima niweke a few disclaimers. Disclaimer number 1, mimi na Mumbi tuko tunafanya kazi pamoja at Nation Media Group. Hiyo time nilikuwaga hii place inaitwa QFM. So cheki. That's disclaimer number 1. Disclaimer number 2, vile udem alianzaga kufanya her activism, and she used to do like a lot of videos back in the days. Kuna a time that I reached out to her, nikatry kumuuliza kama niza muinvite ama on IKONINI, alafu akaniambia yuko based in Coast province. Yes. So hizo disclaimer mbili nishaziweka. So let's get to it, and I think the way to get to it is tutaanza na stories za Gaitho. So one of the first people kupost jua udem kugo missing and kuanza kublame the Ruto government ilikuwa nini? Ilikuwa Gaitho. And talking of Gaitho, Gaitho alipost, aliweka picha za udem hii ni leo, alafu akeka hate crime alert. 2 war indicted criminals organized the abduction and violent rape of activist and blogger Dr. Mumbi Seraki on the same week that the King of Netherlands is touring Kenya. Their names are as follows: William Samoei Ruto and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. While previously they perpetrated their heinous crimes in volume, this time around is targeted at critics and dissenters one at a time. So this okay, every time nikisikiaga the R word, of course kuna vile waga na kuwa scared, because this is something that like, you know, this is something that mostly the victims of it can talk about. For someone like Mimi, I cannot talk about vitu kama hizi. So but now let's go back to history ya udem. So udem, kama hujasikia the story is on Friday alikuwa naishia sherehe, alafu akisha sherehe wakahave sherehe, and then during the sherehe she was drugged, alafu after kudragiwa, and I think maybe the story is gava ilitry kumchoma ama gari ilichomeka, alafu in the process akaenda pamepata injuries zake. And yes, as I keep saying, the person who broke the news ilikuwa ni Gaitho, but other people also reported. So wacha tuangalie kile Seka Nyakundi alikuwa ameandika nini hivi, alikuwa ameandika: prominent social media commentator and activist Dr. Mumbi Seraki has been reported missing. Her last post on social media was 3 days ago, which analysts found strange considering that she posts on a daily basis. Ex-users have launched the hashtag Free Mumbi Seraki, calling for her release. So hapo ndio the first thing. When you go missing from social media for a short time, also wanaanzisha free you. Hakuna mtu anajua kama if that's what's happened to you, but people just write that. So tunaanza from hapo. Alafu later after udem appear, this is what Cyprian aliandika: prominent Kenyan social commentator and activist Dr. Mumbi Seraki has broken her silence after days of uncertainty surrounding her whereabouts, revealing that she survived a harrowing ordeal. In a series of posts, Dr. Mumbi disclosed that she had been drugged and left unable to recollect most of what transpired. According to her, what was meant to be a casual meeting turned into a near-fatal incident that left her battered, bruised, and in hospital for days. They almost got me last Friday, family, but as fate would have it, I'm back home safe, sound, battered, bruised, burnt, but I'm still very much here, ready to bring the new dawn. Okay, so vile nilicheki post, kuna kitu moja ile mbongaga juu yake, and I'm really sitakudanganya, doing this video nilikuwa conflicted, especially because wengi wenyu mnataka kuni cancel Mwafreeka kwenda huko unatuambia kuwa unajua one of the things juu iko nini kwa unashinda kwa nini suuzaga tissues zinaitwa kaji tombe ni juu the principle has always been to say something without caring about people's feelings. So I'll be the sort of person who letaka uniambia this is the bravest generation ever. Funa kuambia there's actually a generation that removed Moi. You remember Moi before there were hashtags, the days that you'd just disappear. Moi had arrested so many people that old women had to go to Uhuru Park and strip naked wakido the release prisoners. That is not to take anything away from you. This is just to remind you that do not usiongee mavi. Kuna countries mingi sana zinawishi zingekuwa Kenya. Our fathers did this. Our fathers. This is not even millennials. This was done by you Gen X and the boomers. They gave us this. Iko Nini exists all of that generation so that we are able to speak our minds. And this does not take away from you that the fact you have a smartphone and you've documented yours and your father did not have a smartphone. Now you think your father was a piece of shit. Good for you. The only difference is mimi sitakam nikwambia budako ni mavi. Mimi nitakam nikwambia ukweli like buda jo. Budako alifanya party yake. Wewe fanya party yako lakini pia budako alifanya party yake. So now let's get back to story ya Udem. So patterns. The patterns is a lot of people have been abducted. A lot of people have been tortured, but no one has been burnt. A car exploded. So hii gari ilikuwa involved kwa accident. Yes? And this accident is what most probably made the car explode. So now we have to ask ourselves, was the accident caused by the government? And if the government caused the accident, did they then not finish the job? Because try and imagine, gari may explode. If you saw the video that I did, nilikuwa nauliza gari ingine iko wapi. So the other story is the driver lost control, akagonga ukuta. Alafu these things happen, especially BMWs waga zinajulikana for spontaneous combustion. I don't know if it's a BMW that this girl has. The only thing najua ni kuna vile gari waga zinachomeka. Alafu sasa after hii story yote kuhappen, and vile nasema I really hate talking about this, but the only thing I try to bring across ni pattern recognition. Like the government is going to do things in a specific way, and as the government does these things in a specific way, we have to then wonder like why is this that this one time gava ilifanya vitu tofauti. So kuna hii story ile nini ile watu the first time ile nilicheki story I had those two little doubts za what could have happened. Like could this have just been a normal accident, and then after the normal accident you go online and there's this pouring of free nani, and then kuna kwa ganayo kitu I think it was euphoria where you are like should I let this go or should I use this as part of the movement to get this Ruto guy out, and you decide to do that. And this is what now wengine wengi sana mwafashali pona gava hakuna vile natetea Udem hivyo mwafashali pona gava. But wacha tuangalie kile Mumbi aliandika jana, alafu tuangalie kile nani anaandika saa hizi Gaitho. And pia for record ama disclaimer, Gaitho tayari alisema since niende US nimekuwa sell out. Okay, okay. So Mumbi aliandika proof of life and thank you for free Mumbi Seraki. They almost got me last Friday, but as fate would have it, I'm back home safe and sound, battered, bruised, burnt, and still very much here to bring in the new dawn. What was supposed to be a casual sherehe, blah blah blah. So Udem unaweza cheki clearly alikuwa hosi. So now kwa post ya leo Gaitho brings across the R word. Okay, so the R word bring you across. So far the abductions that have happened, hatujasikia kitu yote juu ya the R word. The R word, the last time tulisikia juu yake ilikuwa ile story ya Coast. Nakumbuka ile story ya Coast, kuna boy fulani alishikwa alafu kitu ka happen. So mnaweza jitetea mseme pia ili happen in Mombasa. But it's just that it's so out of pattern with everything else. Like gari ikalipuka. Okay, first of all umeenda club. Alafu after uende club umekunywa, so you are impaired. Kuna driver, a designated driver. Was the driver impaired ama was the driver nini? So kuna mse fulani alikuwa ameandika hii story. Let me go kwa msento Chris Sambu. Chris Sambu had broken it down better than me. As you can see, I'm in a loss of words because the last thing that I want to do ni kudoubt what someone has said. But it reaches a level where you have to start wondering. Like, this is something that I talked about kitambo kabisa. Nilibonga juu yake like last year, nikiambia wase, as you fight someone, please make sure you don't bring in lies, because the danger of that is you end up being bad for the legitimate fight as soon as kuna hizi stories zile ziko questionable. So kuna boy anaitwa Chris Sambo alikuwa ameandika, Dr. Mumbi reliable source, Dr. Mumbi Seraki was not abducted but just got into an accident and lost everything in the car. Left hospital jana and most likely by kesho she'll have talked. Nacheki. So this is what Umse alikuwa ameandika juu story, that Udem haku abducted, she just got into a freak accident, and after getting into a freak accident and whatever this happened, I think he even did a bigger thread than this. Okay. Poleni, I don't know kama ali end up amenini. Then tuendelee. Kuna umse kauliza, did she tell you why the other lady in the vehicle whom she went partying with the whole night was not drugged? Mumbi should stop allowing false narratives to be spread, but rather she should be honest and tell people the truth. And you see now, the train has left the station, so now we can never go back to the truth. The only story that we can go with is the story of abduction. But if the government wanted you dead, let's be serious, they'll kill you. Government itakudedisha, hakuna story. But sasa, now we have to, another thing now we have to look at is how impactful wa nini za Mumbi Seraki. Like, would they stress Ruto the way mtu kama Kibet Bull ana stress Ruto? So we'd have to go back to the followers, and I'm sorry for looking at the followers. So we'll go back to the followers to check, like she has 44.9 followers. Alafu I want to go back to one of the abductees, for example, who was a whole caused a lot of damage to the president, and that's Kibet Bull. Kibet Bull iko na 129,000 followers. Kibet Bull, the cartoons are known to be everywhere. Like, everywhere you go, if you see those cartoons, unajua, this started with Kibet Bull. If the government wanted to get rid of someone, impeleke to the other side, who would it be? Would it be Kibet Bull, or would it be Mumbi Seraki? So this is what I'll say about this. And if you are any to my emotions, kwa my emotions zako nimelipwa na gava, whatever makes you sleep at night, tuende nayo. But this is what I hate about such situations, is when we start coming up with stories, it takes away from the legit fight. You can be an activist and get into a freak accident. It happens. And it can just be an accident. Life is not guaranteed. That's why muchekaga sana nikiona fa like, hey, Mwafreeka mzee, you've achieved nothing. Niko like, uzee ni privilege. A lot of people don't get to live like, kuna mtu amezaliwa leo na shadedi. Life is a privilege. Let's never take it for granted. So with these things, life is random. Kitu yote inaweza happen. Unaweza mko healthy kabisa, unaenda kuona mse iko na cancer, udedi before mse wa cancer. That's life. So this is a situation where I feel, and these are my personal views, an accident happened, but then the hashtag free Mumbi Seraki happened, and then kuna kitu moja dangerous kabisa inaitangwa dopamine. Nakumbuka tukibonga juu ya dopamine during the protest, nikisema tulipata a dopamine rush and we just wanted to keep protesting and protesting and protesting. So this is what happened. Dopamine rush ika happen, alafu ikakuwa like, how do I still get this rush? I'd rather blame the government for this accident and just accept it was an accident that most probably came about because of alcohol inducement. When you are drunk, you're not sharp. Otherwise, if you're drunk and the government is trying to take you out, they'll take you out. It's not nini. Unajua si underestimate a gava. Like if the government wants to get, so this is just a freak accident that happened, and I'm sure kuna wengine kati yenyu mnaenda kuthrow tantrums zenyu na kusema nimelipwa, but yeah, the show is called Iko Nini. Usikuja na threats za sijui unsubscribe. Chukua buda, chukua subscription yako, ishia nayo. Things don't work like that. Lazima ujue hii podcast ilianzaga like ikiwa very small, and ikiwa very small, that's the time that ilianzaga kutumia phrase inaitwa kajitombe, and that kajitombe ilikuwa specifically meant for anyone who can't take a different opinion. Alafu on top of that, beste yangu fulani anaitwa Natala akaniambia tengeneza t-shirts za kajitombe, na hizo ndio tukazitengeneza. So kwa umekuja majuzi umekaa na hiyo usikina saidia Mwafreeka jo, nikipo hapa jo asiponiambia vitu nataka kusikia nitamwambia nita unsubscribe. So acha nimwambie sisi nataka Ruto ende home, na ananiambia Ruto ataenda home kesho, amelipwa na gava kwenda huko. Mimi I'm an adult, and as an adult I have to tell you adult decisions. Some of you niko old enough kwa mabuda zenyu, fako niko acha ujinga mitutu hii kuja hapa, acha ujinga. So niko old enough kwa budako. The fact that I'm that old, naweza kuambia comfortably, life is not fair. Najua life is not fair. Bad people get away with shit. Evil people get away with shit. It's not ati life is so good, nitaomba Mungu atanilipia. Mungu akulipia victims wa Moi, wewe kwa nini unafikiri Mungu atakulipia? Life does not work that way. And this is not to tell you that we don't need change. We need change, but we have to be realistic. And the realistic is elections iko 2027. You can throw a tantrum, you can do what, unless kuna natural causes. Elections iko 2027. And as we go to the 2027, let's not start with these false stories. If shit happens, it happens. Mimi nimecriticize Ruto kabisa. Mpaka kuna wasa ushindago wananiuliza ni aje Mwafu uko na do show fulani ya radio. Kwa nini ulistop kuifanya? Kumbuka hiyo show nilikuwa naifanyaga ilikuwa inakuja from 7 to 9. And the reason why I stopped doing that show, ilikuwa gani Tuesday to Thursday 7 to 9, is because I was asked to move it from 11 to 1. And something told me, with how much I talk shit about the Ruto government, I don't want to be out there at 11 to 9. Wacha wanikujie kwa hao, but I don't want them to find me in the streets. So that's the reason why I stopped doing that radio show. And I can comfortably tell you that, yes, I understand abductions are real. But another thing that I know right now, Gava, it's been so battered and bruised that, no pun intended, that they've decided, let's hold back kidogo. Wacha tuone if things are going to zitatulia. Alafu sasa ndio wataanza. I expect by the end of this year they'll have come up with a strategy for next year. Because don't forget, from next year sasa tutakuwa very close to the elections. So now the government has to come up with a solution of what they are going to do. So, yes, as we finish this, pole, the camera was in a different angle. As we finish this, I don't know what happened to Dr. Mumbi Seraki. Tayari sisahau Gaitho alishaniita sell out, so this is open for interpretation. I just feel like there are a few holes to be poked in that story, and if you had to ask me, it was an accident that happened, and she was intoxicated, and in the process we started free Mumbi Seraki, and that happened. Iko Nini posts every day. Nikipost video alafu ni go missing for a few days. Kuna zile especially when I post a lot about politics, because there was a lot of politics happening. You could have said that Mwafu amekuwa kidnapped nini, but no, sometimes people just don't post, and sometimes accidents happen. Paka leo I still have phobia of traveling on Kenyan roads. Mimi unajuaga kwa umesikiza hii podcast long enough, umesikiaga nikisema the first thing that I do nikiingia kwa gari ni navanga belt, najua. And that's because of just Kenyan roads are dangerous, man. Najua. Now, don't forget, I'm 24/7 sober. Nakuwa sober 24/7, and I still feel these roads are dangerous. Now try to imagine how dangerous they become when people are not sober. Yeah? So, tukuerada. Tukimalizia, quick recovery to Dr. Mumbi, and for Gaitho, I'm the sellout. Am I? Sindio? Yeah, Gaitho, I'm the sellout. That's Mwafreeka, that's pieces of shit. he's a sellout. Alafu boomers, the boomers gave you that freedom of expression. You know that shit when you sit down and you talk shit? The boomers gave you that. Let's not rewrite history. Nacheki. Hapa hakuna mtu anakuja kubembeleza. It's the boomers that gave us this shit. Boomers, alafu Gen X. Boomers na Gen X gave us this freedom that millennials and the rest are enjoying. Yes, disrespect them. Tell them the way naonagai bullshit inakuwaga worldwide. Even from America, black Americans huifanya, black South Africans huifanya. We are not our ancestors, we'll fuck you up. You know why you'll fuck them up? Because those people fought for you. So shut the Iko Nini.